Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest's #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. 4 locations, like the big voice said. The original location, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road in Lincoln, then 168th and Burke, across the street from the Village Point Mall in Omaha. Next up, we have the Papillion location, 84th and Highway 370 in the Midlands Place Shopping Center, and then the newest location in West Des Moines, Iowa, 9500 University Avenue. Now, Schrock Innovations, if you're unfamiliar, maybe you've just stumbled onto the program today. If you are unfamiliar with what we do or how we do it or what we stand for as a company, we're all about technology. We're all about making your technology do what you want it to do. I know that's a novel concept, right? I just got it yesterday, my brand new 2022 F-150. And there's only 2 things that I ordered that it didn't come with. I waited since October for it. Stupid stuff for the most part. But all in all, this is a huge job. I had a 2020 Ford truck before that. And so in the last 2 years, the technological leap in this vehicle is absolutely insane. I set the speed limit on my cruise control, 4 miles an hour over the speed limit on the way in. It drives past a speed limit sign, reads the speed limit sign, and lowers the speed of the vehicle. Well, I didn't tell you to do that. What are you doing? Put it back up again. But it's smart enough to know if you pass multiple signs. So if it's 40 miles an hour and you're going 44 and you pass multiple signs that say 40, it doesn't lower it every time, just when there's a change in the speed limit. So I'm like, I'll give the programmer some credit for thinking that one through a little bit. Just insane. I mean, that's just one of the smallest things. The engine, when I'm going downhill, the engine turns off. That was fun. Like, it's a brand new truck and the engine just died. Wait, I'm just going down the hill. And it turned back on when it went back up the hill. Oh, that fuel efficiency. Gotta have it, right? So technology is changing around us every day. And a lot of people will listen to this program and say, oh, you guys at Schrock, you must go to school for this. You just must be so smart. You just must figure it all out and you just know it all. It's exposure, guys. It's choosing to expose yourself and try the new technologies out and then decide for yourself what you like and what you don't like. There's an option where I can turn off read speed limit signs. Now, if I do that, there's consequences. And, of course, those are the options on the screen. I'm going to grab out my my ODB2 coder and plug it into the port underneath there, hook it up to a laptop, and then see what I can change under the hood. I really don't like that annoying seatbelt ding. My truck beeps when I back up. It's an F-150. Does it really need to make? And it's not the construction beep. It's not like beep, beep, beep. It's more of like a bong, 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 which I'm sure my wife appreciated at 5:40 this morning as I pulled out of the garage. In the bedroom is right above the garage. It's that bong sound. And I'm rolling the window down like, am I hitting something? What is that noise? So, we're all learning about the technology around us every day as it changes, as it improves, as, maybe we try some features out that we don't like, that we walk away from. So one of the things that we're really big on at Schrock is making sure that you have the technology that you need to get whatever the job done is that you want to get done for you or your family, that you know how to use the technology. And that once you know how to use the technology and you're using it safely and everything's going well, we get out of the way. And then we're there when you need us. But we're not in the way when you don't. And that's what it's all about at Schrock Innovations. It's about customer service, which is getting to be, honestly, a lost art. It's hard to find it. When you find it, you notice it now. Because people, stupid little things like eye contact in the drive-thru window. When the person handing you your order actually looks at your face and hands you the order. Now, that's the new good customer service, okay? I don't know what the old good, but that's the new good customer service. All right, so number to join us on the program. As we do every week, if you would like to join us on the program this morning, you can be put in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. All you have to do is call in and be a part of the show. You can ask us any questions about any technology you might be having trouble with. Maybe if you have questions about the new F-150, you can ask about that. Whatever's on your mind, we're here to help you out with it. 888-250-2091. 888-250-2091. 2091 is the number to join us on the program today. Also, for those of you who are viewing the program on Facebook, we are broadcasting live, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Yeah, we were on Wi-Fi there, guys. Sorry about that. I'm jacked in the Ethernet now. That should smooth out the streaming a little bit. One plug. Come on. I take a week off from video, and I forget one plug. And you guys, no. I love my Facebook listeners. Good to have you, Richard, Mitch, Thomas, Roger, Aaron, Catherine, Loanne. Thank you for the heads up about the video there. We got that hopefully smoothed out for you there. All right, so if you missed the show last week, there's no video of the show at SchrockInnovations.com last week because it was Easter Sunday. So there is audio, however. So if you missed the show, you can go back and listen to it. You may have had other things going on Easter morning. You know, I get that. Last week on the show, we told you all about Elon's effort to acquire Twitter. Now, we're going to give you an update on that here on the program today as well, because a lot has happened in the last week. We also told you about the ultimate upgrade sale. We went into some detail about it, the laptops, the desktops. This is the final week for that sale, so I'm going to go over that information one more time before we wrap up the sale for the year. It has been an unmitigated success, like just we're having trouble keeping up. Let's put it that way. If you got an ultimate upgrade computer, there's a really good probability that I was the one that built it, because literally everybody else was busy. It was insane. So we'll tell you a little bit about that. Also, last week we told you a little bit about the new Freedom Modular program. It's a computer as a service program where you have a monthly payment and then you get everything you need with your computer. Now, there's people in the world that think, you know, Thor, I want to own my stuff. This is New World Order kind of thing. I don't want to be a part of that. You will own nothing and you will be happy. You know, yeah, okay, I understand. Totally get it. That's why we still sell computers. We give you the choice. However, for people on fixed incomes, for people who are at an age in life where they're not making 5-year commitments, if you know what I mean, having a month-to-month computer that you pay a flat rate for, you know, $35 a month, and then you get everything you need bundled in with that, including the Schrock desk, including a hardware warranty, is really attractive. So basically, we give you the choice of the way that you prefer to own your computer. So if you're interested in Freedom Modular, you can learn all about it on our website, SchrockInnovations.com. Just click on products and go to Freedom Modular. Freedom Modular is not available yet. We're in the kind of the pre-sign-up phase. So go ahead and add your name to the list. You can fill out the form, add your name to the list. The only requirement right now is that you must have been a Schrock Innovations customer as of the end of March. The reason for that, we're slow launching it to customers that are already Schrock customers. We will expand the program later on, so go ahead and get on the list and preserve your place in line if it's something that you're interested in doing. 888-250-2091 is the number to join us on the program. As I mentioned, coming up on the program today, the Ultimate Upgrade Sale is in its final week. So this one, it's always tough when you have a radio show that airs at different times, because obviously, you know, this is airing Sunday morning at 7. So if you want to call in and be a part of the show, that's when you should call in. But you may be hearing it, you know, Saturday afternoon. You may be hearing it Sunday afternoon. So basically, at the end of the month, the Ultimate Upgrade Sale is over. So for those of you who are hearing the program on Saturday, today is the last day for the Ultimate Upgrade, because you're going to hear it next Saturday. Today is the last day. But for everybody else, you got a little bit of time here yet. Now, one of the things I want to mention, the biggest challenge we had with this year's Ultimate Upgrade Sale was the cases. Ironically, the enclosures in which we build the desktop computers. Everything else we were able to source pretty reliably with a few hiccups, a couple quantity limits here and there, but, you know, we got through it. But the cases, you know, we had to order them a pallet at a time. It took, 10 days to get them. So we got a case delivery about a week ago, and we've got about 10 of those left. And after that, we're going to be hand to mouth. We're going to be figuring it out on a per order basis if we go beyond 10 more desktops in the next week. The laptops have been overwhelmingly popular, but the desktops this year, the case for the desktop, I won't be so sad if we have a few left over, honestly, because we can use them for the boundlesses, because the boundless computer at Schrock doesn't have like a DVD drive in the front or a card reader. These cases don't have those ports in the front, but the case itself is everything you would expect from a $200 gaming case. The cable management inside is amazing. The side panels are nice and sturdy. One of them is made of actual glass, not polymer, not plastic, not plexiglass, actual honest to goodness glass, and it's the whole side panel is glass. So it gives you just a beautiful view inside the computer if that's something you're interested in looking at, and there's plenty of places to run the cables to make it look really nice and neat in there as well. And you can see all the options for upgrade and things that are built right into those boards that we use, so that you can increase the number of things that your computer can do for you over time. The power supply is a shrouded power supply. So it basically has its own compartment to live in, which isolates all heat from the power supply into its own environment, keeping it away from your critical computer components. It's a small thing, but if the power supply would ever get clogged or the fan stops working, it can get extremely hot. And that can have a negative effect on your other computer's components. So it's really the design of the case. They thought of everything. It's got an exhaust fan on the back, comes with it. The front is ventilated, so it can pull air in from the front. It's just a beautiful case. Now, the Ultimate Upgrade Desktop, just to give you in a nutshell what we did different this year. Every year we run the holiday special at the end of the year. Great, big, amazing computer, super expensive. It's like $1,600, right? But it's amazing. It's the last computer you're going to buy for a decade. It's amazing. The Ultimate Upgrade, on the other hand, is kind of like the opposite. It's where we say, what is the least expensive computer we can possibly build and still maintain our modular quality? And then what price can we offer that to customers for? So obviously, in an inflationary environment, that's very, very, very difficult to do. We had a lot of trouble this year figuring out how to do that because everything is upside down and backwards. The budget processors cost more than performance processors for some reason. Motherboards cost more than $10, $15 more than they used to. You can't hardly find cases. Lots of challenges there. So we decided if the world is going to force us to build a computer that's a pretty darn decent computer for the Ultimate Upgrade, let's have some fun this year and roll with it. Let's shoot inflation in the foot here and say we're going to build a computer that has an i3 processor, which is productivity grade. That's what you'd use for home office use or workstation business use. So you have an i3. We're going to throw 8 gigs of RAM in there. Yeah, we could have gone with 4. We could have saved like $19 and gone with 4 gigs of RAM. But this is an inflation buster, so we're going to go with 8. 120 NVMe hard drive, so ultra-fast hard drive. So there we go. We got that. Power supply. Yeah, 400's nice, but 450. Okay, 450 is what we could buy. It was $2 more expensive per power supply, but, it's what we could buy, and it's 50 watts more than 400, so yay. So a 450-watt power supply when the computer actually needs like 180 to run. So plenty of room for failure over time. Those things, all power supplies degrade over time. You've got plenty of time in the Ultimate Upgrade Desktop to have that wear down before you have to replace it. Then, like I mentioned, the i3 processor, the 8 gigs of RAM, comes with Windows 11, has not only a wireless card, but we went ahead and just put the Wi-Fi 6 card in it. Yeah, it costs $10 more than the cheaper, just the N wireless card that we normally use for the Ultimate Upgrade. But this is an inflation buster. So we put in the same Wi-Fi card that we would put in every other modular computer you'd buy. So it's got Wi-Fi 6, which is Bluetooth and high-speed Wi-Fi. Just all around an amazing computer. When you stack this computer up against our Endeavor, it is virtually an identical computer to the Endeavor. And it's $200 cheaper than the Endeavor. So, my goodness, for $600 you can get this computer. And that's $600 with your trade. That's the Ultimate Upgrade. We do want you to trade something in. A couple of reasons for that. Number one, it's important. I have testified in front of the state legislature twice on recycling, computer recycling, the various bills and schemes and ways they're trying to basically tax Dell and HP without taxing local companies. And it's very, very difficult to do. Do you do it by weight? Because we all weigh our recycles, don't we? Do you do it by revenue? Well, then you're setting a cap on what local Nebraska businesses can earn for revenue before they're penalized by the state. And yes, I know the objective is to tax these big, HP and Dell, these out-of-state corporations. I understand what you're trying to do. I understand other states are doing it. But you know what the best defense for that is? Is doing the right thing as a corporation automatically. Which is why, for Earth Day, I said, if we're going to share an Earth Day message on our Facebook page, I hate companies that virtue signal on Earth Day. Look at how green we are. We sent you this email rather than a letter in the mail. Woohoo! So, we have to pipe in a little bit. So we post on Facebook, we recycled a circus elephant worth of e-waste last year. the equivalent weight to a circus elephant, because yes, we do weigh our e-waste. We do take it really seriously that we want to take more electronic waste out of circulation every year than we put into circulation with our customers. So that's one of the ways we do that is through the Ultimate Upgrade Sale. You got to trade something in. We don't care what it is. We're not going to use any parts of it for your computer. We're going to take it to Sadoff Recycling, who's going to shred it. So we don't care what it's made of. We've had people trade in all kinds of stuff: laptops, desktops, oldies. Well, the 5.25-inch floppy disks. We've had people trade a VTech Kids laptop. We don't really care. We just want you to trade something in so that we can get it out of circulation and get that e-waste out of the landfill and back into the supply chain where its materials can be used rather than importing from overseas. There's a lot of really good reasons to recycle electronics, and the Ultimate Upgrade is one way that we make sure we do that. It also gives you an opportunity. It's like a President's Day mattress sale, $200 off your purchase. All you have to do is trade in your old mattress. They don't want your old mattress. They're not going to do anything with your old. They might burn it. I don't know, but they don't do anything with it. We're going to recycle your old computers, and it gives us an opportunity to have a sale where we offer you a substantial discount. So it's basically like you're getting $200 for whatever trade-in you're bringing in. Now, if you haven't taken advantage of this yet, and it's something you're thinking about doing, a couple points. Number one, you don't have to trade like items for like items. For example, if you want a desktop, you can trade a laptop. We don't care. You can trade a desktop. We don't care. And vice versa. We don't care what you trade. Trade a desktop, trade a laptop, buy whatever you want to buy. But just trade something in so that we can recycle it and get it out of the landfill and back into the supply chain. Now, this sale, like I said, is going on through the end of the month or while supplies last. We have about 10 desktops left. The laptop, ironically, the Ultimate Upgrade laptop, guys, is the Intrepid laptop. We put them on display, and it was kind of silly after we looked at it because it is literally the exact same laptop. I mean, guys, it's the same laptop, except it's got a slightly smaller hard drive, but a slightly faster hard drive. So for what that's worth, the Ultimate Upgrade laptop is $200 cheaper than the Intrepid with your trade. I'm just saying, if you're going to buy an Endeavor, if you're going to buy an Intrepid, you should take a look at the Ultimate Upgrade Sale. You'll save yourself a couple $100. Use that money to get your data transferred or add some Sophos antivirus or Secure Updater to keep the computer safe. Maybe do an in-home setup. Whatever you want to do. Just put the money back in your pocket and spend it on, a steak, because that's what it's going to cost soon. But it's up to you how you want to spend the money that you save, but you can save it for the next week at Schrock Innovations. 888-250-2091. Before we jump to our break, let's take Craig's call. Craig, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Morning, guys. Happy Easter to you, Thor, and also to you,
Thank
Roger. Grateful for you guys. First of all, I want to say thank you to you guys. A couple of months ago, I know that my dad had all kinds of questions about security issues and stuff with his computer. We called into the Papillion Service Center. I feel horrible. I can't remember the person's name I spoke with, but that gentleman was awesome. We were on the phone at least 15 minutes, and he explained everything. So a shout-out to Papillion Service Center. Great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It was probably Corby or Trenton you talked to, I'm guessing.
I'm guessing it was Trenton. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100%, so I don't want to dog Corby if he was the one. So.
No sweat. Well, thank you for calling to let me know. I really appreciate you taking the time to let me know. We always hear when things don't go right. It is awesome to hear when things are going great.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, here's my question for today. So really, basically, what do you guys suggest for ordering new print cartridges? I have a HP Envy printer, and the color printer print cartridge works fine, but for some reason, these ones that I ordered through Ink Farm, it seems like the last two that I've got, my black and white cartridge seems to dry up right away, and I have to go in there and run under hot water or do certain things with rubbing alcohol to get it to print every time. And I was just wondering what you suggest as far as print cartridges go for resupply.
Oh, gotcha. This is the age-old question. I mean, obviously, HP and all the printer companies make money selling ink. They're ink companies. They're not printer companies. So as a result, they're going to put every barrier in your path possible. And one of the barriers that HP throws up and talks about a lot is the quality of the ink. Their ink is specifically designed and tested to work with their printers, and that's not the case for all ink. That in this case is probably what's very true. It's going on here is the ink is a lower grade or quality of ink, and it's not working in the printer well, which is why you're having the trouble you're having. Whenever possible, I try to spend my money locally. I try to do business with local businesses. There is a local business that sells remanufactured ink called Cartridge World. They deliver it to your house. It's a high service level business. They carry cartridges for all the major types of printers. If you get one like what's happening to you right now, you just call them up and they bring out a new one and swap it out. Like they don't mess around. So I would, and they cost about half of what you're going to pay from HP. So I would recommend Cartridge World. That's who we use when we buy toner refills for our service center printers. But yeah, they do great business for us, and they don't pay me to advertise on the show or anything. But I mean, they're a good company and they do good business.
That's exactly what I need to know. I'm super grateful.
Hey, no sweat. Thanks for the call, Craig. I appreciate it. All righty, folks, just like that. You see, it's that easy to be a part of the program. 888-250-2091. Going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to update you on Elon's takeover plans for Twitter. Coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations repair technicians also make house calls. Make an appointment and let us bring our award-winning computer support right to your home or business. In 1798, Eli Whitney's Connecticut musket factory was the first business in North America to use replaceable parts in a firearm. Before Eli's factory, if your musket broke, you had to send it away to an expert gunsmith for repairs, or just toss it and buy a new musket. Technology manufacturing has come a long way since the 18th century, but you wouldn't know it by looking at today's big box store computers. Dell, HP, Sony, and other manufacturers continue to take away your freedom to upgrade and repair your computer by eliminating expansion and repair options. Some desktops are even powered by a tiny laptop adapter. Schrock Innovations believes in Eli Whitney's idea of interchangeable and replaceable components, and that's why our custom-built modular computers last longer and cost less to repair than computers you see at big box stores. Ask your friends and family how often they replace their box store computers, and they'll probably tell you every couple of years. And what do they do with the old machines? They just get thrown out like broken muskets. Imagine a place where your computer's problems can be fixed quickly and inexpensively. Imagine keeping your computer for 6 years or more. You are imagining the kind of computers we build every day at Schrock Innovations. Our modular systems last longer, perform faster, and cost less over the long term than anything you can buy at a big box store. While the talented technicians at Schrock Innovations can't make you a musket even if they tried, our commitment to the freedom offered by modular computers is the modern-day extension of Eli's innovative musket factory. We think Eli Whitney would be proud, and you can take pride in owning a small piece of American innovation. The modular computer from Schrock Innovations. Compute This Pro Tip 843. Of all computer failures, the scariest and most expensive is the hard drive. But there are some steps you can take to save money and save your data before it's too late. Detecting failures early is important, so install a free utility like Drive Advisor from driveadvisor.com to monitor your hard drive's health and receive warnings when there's a problem. But most of all, hard drive failures happen slowly, so early detection is key to reducing the repair bill. Second, if your hard drive makes any unusual noises, immediately turn off your computer and do not turn it on again. These issues are physical problems, and the more you try to use it, the worse the damage becomes. Remember that most computer repair shops do not have the specialized equipment needed to recover data from a failed drive. Never open your drive or allow anyone else to do so. Opened drives always cost more to recover. Schrock does not charge for data recovery evaluations and quotes, so let the local pros look at your drive before you make any recovery decisions. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks. Welcome back into Compute This. Thanks for joining us today for the program. We appreciate you being here and giving us part of your morning or afternoon, whatever the case might be. Number to join us on the program today, 888-250-2091, 888-250-2091. So last week we told you a little bit about what Elon was doing with Twitter. The story has advanced. So to catch you up if you've been living under a rock, Twitter, you see, is this place where you can type short messages, like text messages basically, and share them with the world. And sometimes people get really, really upset with your text messages, and then you get banned. And as a result, you can't post there anymore. And that's Twitter. Well, Elon says, you know what? Twitter's kind of become the town square where everybody can talk and share ideas, except anyone who has an idea that the current mainstream ideology disagrees with gets shunned from the public square to the point where they're not allowed to even participate. And, you know, they get catchy little phrases like, everyone has the right to free speech, but not everyone has the right to be seen. So we can lock you in a room by yourself and you can say whatever you want. No one will ever hear it, and that's fine. And now you have free speech. Obviously, that's not how it's supposed to work. So Elon comes along and he says, hey, Twitter is a failing business. Twitter literally is circling the bowl from a financial perspective. There are some things that Twitter could do that would really make it a powerful platform. Unfortunately, those things that need to be done run contrary to the political ideology of the employees and management and board of directors of Twitter. So Elon comes along and buys, 9.6% of the Twitter stock in one shot. They offer him a seat on the board of directors as a means of controlling him. Basically, if he has the seat on the board, it limits how much stock he can hold for a period of time. So Elon at first is like, you know what? Hey, they want to play ball. This is great. I don't have to take over the whole company. I can get on the board. We can make some positive changes on Twitter, really turn it around and accomplish what I want to accomplish. But then he finds that the board of directors is less than welcoming behind the scenes. And there is literally no interest in anything. So, he's proposing, all right, let me translate for you. Elon posts a tweet that says we should turn Twitter's HQ into a homeless shelter. Because no one shows up there anyway. Translation: we're wasting a lot of money on real estate in the most expensive real estate market on earth that we don't need to be spending if no one's going to show up. Perhaps we should get rid of that and save the money. So these are real ideas that he is kind of couching in funny posts about things. Should Twitter have an edit button where you can edit your tweet? And then he instead of saying yes and no on the poll, it said, YAS and ON. Like he misspelled yes and no because if he would have had an edit button, he could have fixed it. Get it? Yeah, yeah, we've all done that, right? You use the wrong there and you catch it later, or the wrong to, and you're like, oh man, I look like an idiot now and I can't edit it. I can delete it and repost it, but then I lose all the whatever. So it's not going anywhere. Elon rejects the board seat, says I don't want it. Now he's coming in for a hostile takeover. So he's posting things like "Love me tender." A tender offer is where somebody buys up all the common stock of a company. He's posting "Tender is the night." Like he's telling everybody what he's going to do. Like blank is the night. Love me blank. I wonder if he's going to put a tender offer up. Well, now he's got $46.5 billion in backing to do it. I love the headlines in the newspapers. Richest man on earth wants to buy Twitter. He'll pay for it with an IOU. Well, yeah, that's how rich people spend their money. They don't actually sell their stuff. They take out loans using their stuff as collateral, and then they get more stuff. That's how rich people get richer. Maybe we could all learn from that. I know I'm looking at it like, what can I borrow against to get richer? I don't dang it. I need to be more like Elon. I want to have Twitter, but no, 46.5 billion. New set of documents lays out how the Tesla CEO will finance his unsolicited $43 billion bid for the social media platform. This is getting real, guys, and it's getting to the point where the board adopted this poison pill thing. A tender offer gets around that because no one person is going to have more than 14% of the stock. So he's getting a bunch of people together to all buy 14% to take Twitter private and make changes to it that'll make it a profitable company. The problem that he's having, if there is a problem here, is that when he's approaching people to secure funding to take Twitter private, they're telling him at the current stock price, not the $54.20 that he's promised for the stock, but at the current stock price, which is lower, Twitter's not worth that. Now, of course, the board says Twitter's worth way more than that. But privately, everybody knows that Twitter's circling the bull. It's just a matter of time until they pull a Netflix and drop 53% stock value in a day. And when that day comes, when they reject an offer for $54.20 a share, there's going to be hell to pay from the board for not doing their fiduciary responsibility for the shareholders, which is what a lot of people forget about. This new concept called stakeholder capitalism, where, you're a capitalist but you're only going to do things that are socially acceptable as a capitalist. It doesn't work. Capitalism is capitalism. And if somebody offers you $54.20 for a stock that's worth $25 and you choose not to take it, you are not a capitalist. You're something else. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out, but I would expect to see probably additional money will be raised. This is my prediction. And the bid's going to go up. It's going to go up to about $60. And when it gets up to like $60 a share, if they don't sell it at that price, there will be lawsuits. It's going to be, BlackRock will sue them. I mean, it's going to be rough. 888-250-2091. Going to take a quick break. When we come back, Gary, we're going to grab your call right when we come back. And also, Windows 11 has very strict hardware requirements to run on your computer. Way back when Windows 11 came out, you may have heard me kind of waffling a little, and I was saying, well, we can make it run on computers that it's not supposed to run on, but we're not sure it's a good idea. The story I'm bringing you next is exactly why it's not a good idea to run Windows 11 on an unsupported computer, and we're going to tell you all about it coming up next on Compute This.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com. Every person listening to this broadcast has either experienced data loss or knows someone who has. When you think about it, you have a lot more data stored in many more places than you'd like to admit. Have you downloaded those videos from your phone, backed up the pictures on your iPad, or even tackled that sometimes daunting task of backing up your entire computer's hard drive? Most people just don't back up their stuff, and that's why Schrock Innovations has one of the most advanced data recovery centers in the Midwest. Equipped with the latest DDI data imaging devices, state-of-the-art custom recovery software, and Omaha's best data recovery technicians, Schrock Innovations has a 96.8% success rate when recovering data from damaged hard drives, flash drives, camera cards, and more. We all know we should back up our data, but if you are ever caught in a data loss nightmare, call the experts at Schrock Innovations to get your data back right where it belongs, safe and backed up on a stable hard drive. Compute This Pro Tip 578. Technology is constantly changing, so how can you tell when the time has come to recycle your old outdated computer and invest in a new one? Experts have rules of thumb and formulas, but Schrock believes the answer is simple. You should replace your old computer when it can no longer do the things you need in a secure way. For example, you should not be using operating systems like Windows XP or Vista because they're no longer maintained by Microsoft and they're not secure. And if your computer cannot run Windows 10, it's probably time to begin saving for a replacement. If your existing computer requires a repair and that cost is 50% or more of the cost of a new computer, it might be time to consider a replacement. But keep in mind, additional costs like data transfers and important software you have to upgrade like genealogy software or Quicken. And also keep in mind that modern computers are engineered to last 18 months for a normal user. And don't worry, you are considered a normal user. Schrock modular PCs and solid-state laptops are specifically designed to last 4 to 6 years for that same normal user, saving your family money and time. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. Former longtime Republican Senator Orrin Hatch has died.
Hatch, who represented Utah, was the longest-serving Republican senator in history, serving more than 4 decades. He was a conservative on most economic and social issues, but was known for reaching across party lines.
Fox's Chris DeMeo. Orrin Hatch was 88. Inflation has finally caught up with Amazon.
Amazon will begin this week charging sellers active on its platform an additional 5% surcharge for fuel and inflation as the e-commerce giant and all businesses deal with operating costs in the wake of surging inflation in the U.S. and high gas prices. Amazon says the 5% added fee isn't permanent and that the company hoped for a return to normalcy as COVID restrictions eased.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
A brief break from the wind this morning with temperatures in the 40s. We'll start off with sunshine, clouds rolling in this afternoon, gusty winds as well. Gusts up to 40 miles an hour possible. Highs around 61 degrees. Partly to mostly sunny on Monday, still breezy with highs around 57. With Omaha's most accurate forecast, I'm 6 News First Alert meteorologist David Keller.
Alrighty, folks, halftime is over. I hope you got your oil changed and your coffee refilled and you're ready to rock and roll for another half hour of Compute This. Slightly less than a half hour because we went long last time. But that's right, you pay it forward, right? Number to join us on the show, 888-250-2091. Compute This is brought to you by the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, with 4 locations to help you out when your computer is not working right. When you need a new computer, you don't have to go to the big box stores anymore. You've got a choice now whether you can go someplace local, purchase a computer with local service, local support, get way better product and way better service than you get from the box stores at a price that's equal or lower. It doesn't happen often, guys, but it happens every day at Schrock Innovations. Gary, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Yes, how's the best way to check your laptop to see if it needs the battery replaced?
Gotcha. Well, there's the easiest way to do it is to just bring it in for a maintenance checkup at Schrock. We check that as part of the maintenance check. There is a tool that you can download from the internet called Nearsoft. It's Nirsoft. Nearsoft. That's the tool that we use in the service center to measure your battery's health. Windows 10, Windows 11 maintains statistics on your battery. How long or how many watt hours it charges up to. What is the supposed maximum of the battery, and how much does it actually hold? And what you'll see is over time, especially over about a 2-year period, your battery will start to dramatically drop off. So a 2-year-old battery, you could expect it to be at 80% capacity or less. Anything over 2 years, it's a crapshoot. The newer pancake batteries, when they get really bad, they will start to swell. This will manifest itself. You'll see a bulge in the laptop itself, like the plastic being pulled apart from a bulge. A lot of times you'll see your touchpad not working right, like you can't click. When you're trying to physically push, you could tap on it, it works. But if you're trying to physically push the clicker, it won't click because there's so much pressure from underneath that the mechanism for clicking the mouse can't work. So honestly, if you bring it in for a maintenance check, especially if you have one of our maintenance check certificates that you purchased during the sale last month, we can check that out for you, let you know, not only optimize a whole bunch of stuff inside the computer, but also let you know where the battery is as far as a health perspective. Otherwise, you can always download that Nearsoft tool yourself and check that way. But like I said, the easiest way is just to let us check it for you. Any other questions for you today, Gary?
Well, do you carry the replacement batteries on stock, or do you have to order those?
We carry some.
It's about a 3-year-old laptop.
Gotcha. We carry some, is the answer. The problem is every laptop requires a different battery. So there are some series of Dell laptops that seem to have all the batteries are failing at the same time. And so when we see a trend like that, we order in enough to every service center to have them on stock. But it just depends on the laptop, on the battery that it requires. But if we do have to order the battery, orders right now are going about 2 to 3 business days. So that's not super bad, actually. I would suggest, however, if you're planning on having somebody look at the battery, that you try to get it done in the next 2 weeks. Inventories, for a lot of reasons coming from overseas in China, inventories are going to really start thinning out over the next couple weeks. And then when the inventories thin out, prices go up. So if you want to get it replaced at the most economical price possible, try to get it in sometime in the next week or two and let us take a look at it and figure out, first of all, if you need to replace it. And then if you do, if we have it in stock, great. And if not, if we have to order it, you can take the laptop home while we wait for the battery to come in, or you can leave it in the service center. It's completely up to you.
Now, the other question I have is related to the power supply cord.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a possible problem as well?
Well, I mean, it's what charges the battery. So if your power supply fails in your laptop, which is the brick on your cord, it puts out less voltage than it's supposed to put out. So it might be able to charge the battery, for example, when the laptop is turned off, but not while the laptop is turned on. It may be able to power the laptop when it's doing not super intensive things. But if you try to do something intensive with it, it'll power down. So as part of the maintenance checkup is we ask you to, when you have a laptop, to bring in your AC adapter that you use, because we test the voltage on it to make sure it's putting out the right voltage. The other component in the chain here is the DC jack, where the power plug plugs into the laptop. If that jack becomes loose, what'll happen is you'll get an intermittent connection that allows it to charge sometimes but not other times. So it'll manifest with the same kind of symptoms. I had it plugged in all night and the battery's dead. Well, the charger could be fine. The battery could be fine. It could be the jack in the laptop that's loose. which is, those are the three things that you usually look at when you have a power problem with a laptop.
Okay. Well, that's helpful. Thank you very much.
Hey, no sweat, Gary. Thank you very much for the call. I appreciate you taking the time to join us today. 888-250-2091. Gary's in the drawing for that $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. We'll give that away here at the end of the program today. As I mentioned at the start of the program, the Ultimate Upgrade is in its final week here at the Service Center, guys. If you're hearing the show on Saturday, today is the last day. In Lincoln, when you hear this show, it'll be the last day, that day that you hear the show. So I'd encourage you to take a look at our website, SchrockInnovations.com. You can purchase an Ultimate Upgrade on the website. You don't have to trade in your old computer until your new computer is ready for pickup. With that said, we do have the new computers in stock in the service centers. So normally when you come and purchase one, you might have a couple customizations. Maybe you want a slightly larger hard drive. It's only $65 to double the size of the hard drive. A lot of people have been doing that. You might throw a year of warranty on it. Maybe you want Microsoft Office installed. So sometimes it takes a couple hours to get it configured the way you want it configured, but typically they're available same day, next day for you in any of the 4 service centers. So do check it out while supplies last, especially on the desktops. We're getting a little thin there. Laptops were okay on, but desktops were definitely thinning out a little bit. If you wanted to pick one of those up, I would do it sooner rather than later. 888-250-2091 is the number to join us on the program. Now, when Windows 11 came out, it was kind of a shock how restrictive Microsoft was going to be on the hardware requirements for Windows 11. For example, you have to have an 8th generation or newer Intel processor if you have an Intel chip. Now, at the time, the laptop I was using for the radio show was a 7th generation Intel i7. Worked fine, streamed the radio show just fine, did everything just fine. But it was not Windows 11 compatible. Not because it couldn't run Windows 11. It had all the virtualization technology required to run Windows 11. Microsoft just arbitrarily decided that, well, 7th gen is 3 years old, so anything more than 3 years old we want to obsolete, so people buy new computers. And then we don't have to deal with all the old hardware with Microsoft Windows and support. So obviously OEMs like Dell, HP, Acer, Gateway, all the big brands, they had computers in the pipeline already. They had computers that were being sold at retail. They had computers that were being shipped to retailers. They had people purchasing computers on their website. In fact, Microsoft, when they announced the Windows 11 specs, was selling their top-end Surface Creator computer, like a $5,000 computer, and it was not Windows 11 compatible. And it's Microsoft selling the computer. So there was tons of computers out there that could have benefited from Windows 11, but just were excluded because they didn't meet the hardware requirement that Microsoft somewhat arbitrarily set. There are some processors that literally cannot run Windows 11, but there's not many. There are some, but there's not many. So as a result, Microsoft created certain workarounds for companies like Dell or HP, little registry tweaks you can do to make Windows ignore all the requirements and just install Windows 11 anyway. We did this on one of our tech computers in the Papillion Service Center. It had a 6th generation Intel processor, so something that shouldn't be compatible with Windows 11. Runs fine, works great. But the problem is we never did it for customers because we were concerned that if we ran some kind of a special deal that said, hey, your old computer could have new life breathed into it with Windows 11, check it out. And then we did this for customers. We bypassed all the options, basically, the security options, the compatibility options, and just installed it anyway. Number one, if we actually did step on a landmine, which eventually would happen, and we had a computer that literally just could not run Windows 11, we'd be in support purgatory on that forever. Number two, there's always the possibility that Microsoft could change its mind later and penalize people who are running Windows 11 improperly. And sure enough, we have a story. Is Microsoft actually going to cut support for people running Windows 11 on unsupported devices? So basically what's being floated here, there's a term, if you're into crypto, you've heard of this before. It's a term called FOMO, or not FOMO, FOMO is the wrong term, FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So the biggest way that you can throw some shade on something is to throw some FUD at it, right? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Well, Microsoft is throwing some FUD on people running Windows 11 on unsupported computers. Fear. You may not be able to get the security updates to keep your computer safe. Uncertainty. We might do it. We might not do it. Doubt. You really probably should just buy a Windows 11 compatible computer and not mess around with these uncompatible, systems. You should just go do it right. So they're throwing the full Monty of FUD at you. In reality, Microsoft is completely capable of cutting off support for computers that are not technically Windows 11 compatible. In reality, I don't think that they would do it for security updates. Here's why. There's an easier way to do it. Microsoft has annual feature upgrades that come out every year now. If you get 2 feature upgrades behind, you no longer receive security updates. That's been the way the world has worked for Microsoft throughout Windows 10. So it's nothing new. So rather than proactively penalizing these people who force installed Windows 11 on an old computer that shouldn't be running it, all they have to do is prohibit them from installing the feature updates. So you go to get the feature update for 22H2 that's coming out later this year. And I'm running it now on my computer. It's pretty good. It's the beta version of it, obviously. You shouldn't be running it on your computers. It's not that good, but it's good enough to run on my computer. 22H2 is what's coming out this fall. And if you don't get that, it's not the end of the world. Your life's not going to end. The problem is fall of 2023, if you don't get that one, suddenly your computer is no longer receiving security updates. And that's how Microsoft can take the security updates away from people who have installed Windows 11 on non-compatible computers. By Microsoft's logic there, the computer was 3 years old when Windows 11 came out. At this point now, it's almost 4 years old. A year and a half from now, it's going to be nearly 6 years old. Your unsupported computer, you still have it after 6 years? Really? Most HPs and Dells and Acers and Gateways last like 18 to 24 months before you have to replace them. Now, if you have a modular computer, it's possible that you've got one that's lasted 6 years or longer, but we're not going to force install Windows 11 on a non-compatible computer because of the FUD. You don't need FUD in your life. There's nothing wrong with Windows 10. It works fine. Windows 10 is a great operating system. It works fine. It's good until 2025. You have nothing to worry about. There's no reason to take on the FUD, right? So if you have a non-compatible computer, we just tell you it's not compatible. And if you have a compatible computer, we're like, hey, you should upgrade to Windows 11 because you're going to get more security. You're going to get more features, more benefits if you're on Windows 11 than if you're on Windows 10. So it's a pretty straightforward argument. But some people did push the envelope, and as a result, there were some local computer repair shops advertising that they could push the envelope for you. And I would surely not like to be those guys on the support phones if Microsoft does something like this, because it's too late to go back to Windows 10. You'd have to wipe the whole computer and go back. You're going to charge them a couple hours of labor now to fix the problem that you created? I don't know that's such a good idea. 888-250-2091. We're going to take our final break of the show here, guys. I want to remind everybody that once the program concludes, on Facebook, we do a little show called The After Schrock. Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. And the Aftershock is kind of where we put everything that doesn't fit in the regular program. We're going to talk about the new people coming on to the Lincoln Service Center team, as well as, just stuff we've seen in the service centers, ultimate upgrade stories, delivery stories. USPS tried to deliver some memory to our service center at 4:35 a.m., and apparently we weren't there. And they left us a nastygram on the door. I thought it was an error at first, but no, some postal guy showed up at 4. Man, that dude gets out of bed early in the morning. 4:35? Did he pick up the load the night before? How's that even possible? But anyway, so that's the kind of stuff we talk about during the Aftershock. If you want to tune in for it, you can check it out at Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Going to take our final break, guys. When we come back, if you're an Android user, you may have noticed if you have an iPhone, we talk about all the security flaws that come out on iPhone, primarily because we want people with Apple devices, whether they be iPhones, Macs, whatever, to understand you need antivirus on all of your Apple devices. Your iPad, your iPhone, your MacBook, your iMac, all of them. If you have a PC, you need antivirus on all of your PCs. But see, PC users are used to that. If you have an Android device, you need antivirus on your Android device because There's a security flaw that's been lurking for years, thanks to Apple. Been lurking for years on Android phones, and they just now patched it. So what else is lurking out there if something like that can fly around under the radar for years and let people get into your Android phone? You really don't think you need antivirus at this point? We're going to tell you all about it coming up next on Compute This.
Now you can configure and purchase laptops, desktops, tablets, and more, all at the new SchrockInnovations.com. Check out our specials for one-of-a-kind discounts and deals.
Remember the good old days when virus detection worked like Where's Waldo? Spot the virus in the striped shirt and you win. Today's infections are changing hourly to avoid detection and use social engineering to trick you into making mistakes. Using yesterday's security to defend against today's threats is like using leeches to stop an infection. It just doesn't work. We recommend Sophos Intercept X, antivirus backed by Schrock's virus-free guarantee. Sophos uses the power of AI to detect the patterns of a virus attack and responds with Schrock's custom actions that stop it fast. With Sophos on your PC, Mac, Android, or iOS device, you get the state-of-the-art protection you need to defend against the most advanced attacks out there. In fact, if your device gets a virus while running Sophos antivirus, Schrock will remove it for free, guaranteed. It hasn't happened yet, and we intend to keep it that way. Ditch your dad's antivirus and keep your device, data, and identity safe with Sophos and Schrock Innovations.
Compute This Pro Tip 178. Those little life-saving surge protector strips are vital to your computer's health and should be used whenever possible, even for laptops. As computers get smaller and more powerful, they're also becoming more sensitive to dirty power, and your power is a lot dirtier than you might think. Even if you have a whole home surge protection, most power surges are generated within your own home. If you've ever vacuumed and seen the lights get dimmer and brighter, you created a surge. Surge protectors can only absorb so much energy measured in joules. When that capacity is exhausted, your surge protector becomes a glorified extension cord and needs to be replaced. You should always look for surge protectors that give audible alerts when they're no longer able to protect your equipment. Schrock recommends these because the lights on most strips are just power lights and they don't tell you when it's time to replace the unit. If in doubt, replace your surge protectors annually to keep your expensive TVs, computers, and other electronic equipment safe. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back in. Final segment of Compute This. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you being here. If you haven't done so recently, if you purchased a maintenance checkup certificate and you need a maintenance checkup on your computer, this time of year, starting next week forward, probably for a couple months, people go out and they travel. People, especially now, people go on vacations. They get busy. They get in the garden. They get out from behind their computers and they start doing things. As a result, they stop breaking their things. And guess what happens when there's fewer broken computers to fix? We get a little slower over in the service center. The benches get a little thinner. The turnaround times get a little faster because there's not as much going on. If you are somebody who needs to burn one of those maintenance certificates on your computers, now is an excellent time to get that computer into the service center and use that maintenance checkup certificate to get a fast turnaround time and get the computer maintenance and fixed up the way you need it to be. So I just wanted to throw that out there real quick. If it's something out there that you are ready to do, it's not just all new. This week is pretty heavy new computers because it's the last week of the ultimate upgrade. This is the last computer sale, guys, before the holiday special. Like, we don't do another computer sale throughout the entire year. So this is it. You get 2 a year. You get the holiday special. You get the spring ultimate upgrade. That's it. The rest of the year, you're on your own. You got a full price Monty there. 888-250-2091. All right, so this flaw has been lurking for years, and I mentioned kind of tongue-in-cheek a little bit, thanks to Apple. Well, what this was there's an audio codec. What is a codec? A codec is what allows your device to play audio. So without the appropriate codec, you can't play MP3 audio or MP4 audio or AVI audio or whatever, any of the other audio types that are out there, wave audio. You have to have the right codec to play the audio. Apple was a pioneering force in audio codecs. Think iPod, right? So way back in 2011, Apple decided to open source its ALAC codec. They open sourced it because they were done with it. They were moving on to the MP4 format. It was whatever. The ALAC codec, we're done with it. It's open sourced. Have at it. Good luck. Enjoy life. And they never looked at it again. Turns out there was a flaw in the codec that some people figured out, that you could use this flaw to send an audio file to an Android device that would allow a bad guy to remotely execute code, i.e. take control of the device and install whatever they want, because you played an audio file. So pretty common to play audio files, right? You know, you play a lot of music with your phone, right? You listen to a lot of podcasts with your phone, right? You might be listening to the radio show right now on your phone. Well, as a result, you know, your Android device has now been patched. Somebody created a patch for this, not Apple. The flaw could have led attackers to remotely get access to the media and audio conversations on the device, so they could have listened to phone calls and things like that as well. It impacted all Android devices with chips from MediaTek and Qualcomm, which is pretty much everybody. Qualcomm patched the bug in December security update. MediaTek addressed it in December as well. Your phones should all have those updates by now. It takes time. The chip makers make a patch. The phone manufacturers integrate the patch into their operating system. Then they release that patch to your device. Let's see. An out-of-bound memory access error can occur. So if you get weird memory errors on your phone, it's a good indication that you've got something going on there. So this is one of the reasons why we recommend strongly that you consider your phone, your iPad, your tablet to be a computer going forward. It needs the same security protection that you would expect to put on a computer. That has not always been the case in the past. They've been pretty impervious to attack in the past. Not so much now. And so as a result, Sophos is what we recommend for your computers and your Macs, your Linux computers, your Windows computers, your Apple computers. We can also put it on your phones, your iPads, Android devices, and it's actually a lot cheaper to put it on a mobile device than it is to put it on the computer. So if it's something that you're interested in, give us a call in the service center. A lot of times we can do it over the phone for you. Otherwise, it takes about 3-4 minutes in the service center. We can get it set up. Today's winner is Craig. Congratulations, Craig. You've got yourself a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Stay tuned for the After Schrock, and we'll see you all again next weekend for another edition of Complete This.
From the Amish Furniture of Nebraska studio, your home for made in the USA furniture. This is News Radio.